channel. Today is the official start of my growing season. I was thinking as I was about to press record that based on the way that I'm dressed, probably doesn't seem like a very good day to start planting, but the people at Tai Nursery, TY, and Stark Brothers had sent me goji berries and I think persimmon trees? I don't know, I haven't opened it up and I don't quite remember. So the plan for today is, it's going to be a longer video. I'm going to go out and feed the chickens real quick. But I want to talk about what the plans were for this year's, this year's videos, what I plan to do on both of my properties. And today, hopefully, depending on how cold it gets, or I get, and how windy it is, I'd like to explain kind of more in detail what's going on in each property, because I have a half-acre food forest behind me that's been grown up kind of, well, basically wild, and I've added all sorts of different fruit trees and berry bushes. I'm trying to rebuild the ecological structure in the soil. And then I have a single lot on the other side of town that's supposed to be like a showcase property for this edible urban landscaping or suburban edible landscaping that I'm doing. And that's a smaller plot where the house has been removed, unfortunately, and I've gone in and tried to sheet mulch and add plants kind of in the same manner, but each of them have kind of spots where they've been planted out or missing spots where I'm trying to add other things. But overall, for the year, I've planted mostly evergreen, or I've ordered mostly evergreen bushes, berry bushes, and different nut trees. So I have Ukrainian almonds coming, I have heart nuts or Japanese walnuts, and I have a whole bunch of flowers, like native flowers that I ordered, of course, as well as some evergreen trees. So I'm going to take you out a little walk so you can see what my half-acre food forest looks like, and the birdies, and then I'll pack everything up and I'll run over the half-acre food forest, and I'll show you why I'm going to start over there, because it's a little bit more complicated, I guess, over there, because of the amount of space that I have. So thank you for watching and stay tuned. First off, I'll apologize if it's a little windy. I got my truck started, so hopefully I'll be out of here in just a few minutes. As you can see, one of the issues that I have planting on this property is it's completely exposed. There's a lot of space, but I have neighbors all around me, and there's a mall right there. There's traffic that comes through, and then there's a duplex just to the right. You don't need to see their address or nothing. However, I try to get out here and try to act as normally as possible, which is not entirely normal to walk around staring at a camera, I suppose, at least not for me. But this is what we do. So one of the things that will have to be monitored on this property is the rain gauge, because last year, I guess I can't do it with one hand. Anyways, I usually just pop that out and then the water drains. But one of the things I wanted to keep an eye on this year was the rainfall here in the middle of the city and the rainfall at my other property on the northern edge of the city. Because we have, as master gardeners, we have a community garden, and it got zero rain last year, which was pretty strange, because I got rain at my house, but up on the north side they didn't hardly get any rain, so they didn't really get any produce. And all that produce goes to women's shelters and homeless shelters and things like that, food banks. See if there's any birdies. So yeah, the rain gauge is just something that I wanted to see, and there's a couple of guys in the group that are interested in the rainfall throughout the city, so I'm kind of interested too. These birdies are hiding from the cold, I'm guessing. Hi, birdies. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Lucy. How are you doing, Lucy's? Yeah, hopefully in the next day or two. I've been adding hay to this. I like to once it's not so cold, get them out, then I can pull this tray out and dump it somewhere on my property and give them some new fresh bedding. They haven't started laying yet, but they're a little young, maybe a couple more weeks. All right, Lucy, you guys get warm. Keep warm now. Oh. So what I usually do, I usually grab that little feeder there, or grab that one, and I feed them up from the top. They've been eating just about one whole container of food a day. I usually fill that up, and then I'll toss some food through the top. Let me see if I can. I just keep a little food barrel here, which is probably impossible to open with one hand. Okay, so I have a mixture here, and I usually, just when I come out, I'll just grab something. Whoa! You can see, just drop the food down. I don't know, it's kind of fun to do. They come out and they'll kind of mess around with the pellets and come out and eat and all that, but they do eat a lot of food, so I need to keep an eye on that. I haven't been able to get them to eat any of the cabbage. I've been shredding it up, tearing it up. Yeah, see, they were hungry. I just filled that thing up yesterday afternoon. Yeah, so we got to get them some food here. Trying to, oof. Yeah, it's a little difficult doing all that. I'll kind of up once I'm done recording. I'll give them a whole bunch of food, but they're doing pretty well under here, and we still got plans to expand this coop out about 4-fold. Give them a lot more room to run around. Just yesterday, the day before, there was a hawk that was, I don't know, taking a nap on top of the coop, which is, makes me happy that this thing is so secured and I reinforced it and all that. So, yeah, I think it's cold enough for me to grab all my stuff, pack it in the truck, and get out of here. Because I have another meeting to get to, and then hopefully by the time I plant, it'll warm up just a little bit more. Because it's actually pretty cold out here. Woo. Try not to fall over. Hello, Lucy. Yeah, I've been trying in a lot of my videos to get them shorter, preferably before 8 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. Because I'm not sure, I mean, I want people to watch the video, watch all my videos. Because what I'm trying to do, here, I'll turn the camera around so you can see my face and get a shot of the birdies. So what I'm trying to do with this channel is document my own travels in permaculture, gardening, things of that nature. Started out as a hobby. It was kind of intriguing how, like, just returning to using natural processes to generate food. I started noticing that a lot of these skills and this information and knowledge was only about 3 generations old. Like, I have great grandparents that probably knew all about this stuff. My grandparents knew some, probably grew up on a farm. My parents did not. And then me, I'm trying to build a food forest or grow a food forest in my backyard. So I just think it's really important that it's a part of my life. So hopefully, just by watching my videos and what I do, how I plant, what I choose to plant, things like that, hopefully somebody can watch it and be like, well, if he's doing it, if he's buying a $200 chicken coop and running a little bit of extra run out with some T-posts and stuff, and he goes out with a little hand shovel and can dig holes for trees and, you know, have peaches the next year, then, you know, hopefully that gets other people to see how, I guess, ease of entry into the whole lifestyle or whatever. And I was really glad too that although this property is meant to be wild, it's like a rewilding. I wanted my other property, which I'd originally bought for storage because I had a garage. I was glad that I was able to turn that into like a showcase property where everything can be sheet mulched. pathways can be made. It can be prettier and more I don't know what the term is, but more pretty. We'll go with that. Because I wanted to see if possibly I could start a business and install something similar like that in other people's houses, like in corners of backyards or just the side of their house and things like that. And that property over there is perfect for it, since it's a single lot where a house used to be, and I can't plant where the house used to be because they filled it in with a bunch of debris and then threw like a foot of regular, like, whatever, crap soil on it. And then I added 18 to 24 inches of wood chips a couple years ago, and we're just waiting for that to break down so we can plant into it more, probably next year, hopefully next year. So the birdies are happy, perfectly fine with the cold, which was a huge concern for me, but they're fine. They're chickens, man. They're chickens. They've lived forever in worse conditions than Indiana, so not too worried about it. They have limited access to food and water, so I have to take care of that. And that's, as we expand the run and get more plants growing around it, it starts raining, maybe I'll just put a bowl out, so the water can fill up from there. Things like that, just to take me out of the equation. Because right now, if I leave for more than 2 days, I like ask a friend to come take care of the chickens, which seems a little ridiculous. However, let me get out of this yard and get my stuff in the back of the truck, and I'll see you again over at my other property where I want to show you there's a couple of goji berries I want to plant there, and then whatever's in that Stark Brothers box, I might plant something there. I'll explain it all. I'll explain it all as it happens. But if you're still watching here, thanks for watching. We still got more to come. So, all right. A little side note: I have like 5 buckets and only 1 lid, so I'm gonna bring this, use this, and hide my food bucket in the garage, because I have a bucket over there that's filled with water. For the other property, it doesn't have any water, so I need to bring my own, bring a bucket of water and a cup so I can water the plants in. But instead of going to Lowe's or something like that, I don't have time to be running around all that. It just doesn't make any sense. So this will be a temporary thing to do, and then I'll get on my way. Here I am at the other property. You can see I got my water bucket. I got my chicken water. That's what I use for when the chickens are in the garage. But I want to show you the property itself isn't very big. It's just a single lot. And if you see where that house lines up, basically that's the same line where the old house used to be. It had burned down for whatever reason a number of years ago, and then I bought the property. So outside of that left and right lane, whatever corners, I can plant. As you can see, the only thing I have planted here is on the very edge, and those are comfrey plants. And see if we can see a couple leaves coming up here. The comfrey's coming up. And that's the very edge, but comfrey will make it down through whatever it needs to make it through, but I really haven't planted in there because I can't get very deep down. And you can see I planted a peach tree on this side of it. Then I have another peach tree. And this is kind of a walkway here. I do have this area filled with berry bushes, blackberry and raspberry and strawberry. You can actually see, it'll be interesting in this area to see what comes up and how things make it through. And see, here's some strawberry poking up. And you see these here. Those are doing pretty well, blackberries. And then this is a raspberry right here. Last year we had, you can see another tag there, and they're throughout. I'd let this thistle grow up probably too long last year, and it kind of shaded some stuff out. So it'll be interesting to see what comes back. And I might actually plant a couple of those heart nuts back here, and maybe an almond. I'm not too sure yet, but I just have 8 berry bushes with me as far as I know right now. I'm not sure what's in that other stark box, so I'm going to kind of pick a couple of spots I'm going to walk through, and because I only have 2 hands, I'm not going to film all that, but I'll show you where I decided to put them. And some of the things I'm thinking about is they will be evergreen, and they can get up to about 12 foot tall, unless you prune them, which most people do, to about 4 feet. So I just got to watch out for how wide it's going to get. Probably get about 4 foot wide. So let's say I have a gooseberry right here. Those will get kind of the same size. So this might actually be a spot where I plant one. Because I just want to put a little bit of, well, variety of course, but a little bit of color in the winter. So I might actually just go down this side and put one there, one around in here, and one here, because this is a peach tree. That'll be kind of nice to get 3 along that line, because there's always next year and all that to fill in more gaps and stuff. But just to kind of give it a little trial run to see how it goes, because it's about to rain. It never did actually warm up; it just clouded over. So yeah, you see that in the camera. The camera doesn't like how cold it is over here. So I'm gonna get to planting. I'll show you the effectiveness of this sheet mulching. I'll set up my stand and hopefully it doesn't fall over. I'll show you how easy it is to dig into the soil and plant something when the actual soil is covered. Yeah, I'll show you here. This is one of those goji berry bushes from Tai Nursery. I know it's upside down, but it's TY Nursery. I wanted to show you one of the things that I like about them is they send you plants that are ready to bear fruit. So if you were ordered a peach tree, it would be at least that big. When I ordered this from like Stark or whatever, it was, you can see that the amount of growth that it's had, and they pruned it right before. So, all that is just this last year. But anyways, I want to show you how it's kind of packaged in there. It has to be a specific way, and it has to be wrapped in plastic in order to ship, technically. So that was kind of something that I was looking at if I ever... Oh. Sorry about that. If I ever wanted to sell any of my trees or ship them, it would have to be in plastic. So there's only so much you can do for the environment if you're shipping through the world there, through the states. And they got it wrapped up pretty well here. And it's pretty considerable. So I was wrapped in that about 5 times, and then all this is tape. So I don't have to take a knife to this. And I'll show you how I'm going to decide where to plant here, because it's kind of hard to tell this early in the year what's growing where and what's planted where. Okay, I might have it undone enough to mess with it with one hand. This is, I guess it still has ice in it. I don't know, it's really hard to see what that... No, it's like a silica, whatever, water source thing. I guess I've heard or seen that stuff, but okay, well, moisturize or whatever it is you're supposed to do. Yeah, I got all that in there to keep these roots moist or damp, because that's the one thing you don't want, is for these roots to dry out. And they're bare root. Even got shoots coming off of it here. So that's really cool. Let's see. Try not to break or rip or nothing here. What do we got here? It is Crimson Star Goji Berry, fruitine size. So I'll get this thing out and I'll show you the soil here. Okay, so this will be interesting. I guess I don't know what's in the rest of the box. I thought I knew what I ordered. But these are the Crimson Star, upside down. Crimson Star, do you believe? No, these are Firecracker. So there are 4. There's supposed to be 4. And we can see 1, 2. They're separate plugs or whatever. And then I guess this would be number 4. So that, yeah, so I guess I'll have to plant them separately then. Yeah. I don't think I'll be planting that separately. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, it's either going to survive like this, or it won't. I mean, why would being attached next to another plant of the same variety help it grow? Because if I was worried about having an area that had a goji berry, sure, I'd plant all the goji berries in one area. But you know, for one to grow and survive, the best chances it has is for the roots to stay moist and be planted in a place where it's healthy and there's lots of soil life, gets sun, and there's other plants growing around it. As you can see, the creeping Charlie are coming up, and whatever that kind of thing is coming up. I got gooseberries leafing out, kind of focus. So yeah, let me grab my little hand shovel, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Okay, we're gonna hope and pray that the wind doesn't knock this over. It's not very sturdy, but I just want to show you. Should be zoomed in enough. A lot of this is creeping Charlie, which is good. Obviously, it seems to be designed to hold loose soils together, which is exactly what I like wood chips is. It's loose soil, right? And creeping Charlie, I guess, is one of those things that get torn up, or people call weeds, or what have you. And they're amazing. They're one of the first things that bloom in the spring. So I'll see millions of bees all throughout here. And look at that. We have something planted here. That's why I use tags. It is something. Woodland stone crop. So I've planted only perennials. I don't see. I mean, none of this is that stone crop I recognize. Got a peanut. I planted peanuts in here. I don't know what a peanut leaf looks like, so I don't even know if any of those peanuts ever actually made it. Let's see. Let's try. Let me see where my camera's at. Okay, let me get this done before this thing falls off. So let me just use a little hand shovel and see how easy it is for. That's dirt right there. A little wormy. So what I mean about ease of planting or digging, I'm just using a little hand shovel. Scooped all that up, and I'll just plug one in here. So we'll have to dig this down a little bit deeper. I gotta plant me a firecracker goji berry.
Goji berry, huh?
Well,
imagine that.
You know, ever heard of a goji berry?
Nope.
The evergreen bush. It ggets about 12 foot tall.
No kidding.
You know, gives you millions of berries.
Millions of berries, huh?
Millions. Okay, so we got 4 of them planted, 2 of each, and I hope, well, I don't even know if it captured everything that I was doing before the camera fell over, but there's one of them, and let's see, yep, there's the second one, it's pretty close, and there really wasn't too much rhyme or reason to it, just wherever I saw a spot. There was that one I think was captured on footage where I'd found a tag, one of these tags. I'm not too worried. I don't think I ripped up any plants, but if a bergamot kind of gets chopped up so I can plant a 12-foot berry bush, I suppose that's an okay trade. And as we go along here, try to think where I planted. There's the other one. There's a third one. And there's annual flowers surrounding it. I believe this is a Black Aronia, Mackenzie Black Aronia. You can see that one's budding out as well. Pretty cool. And then just to the right of it, here's another Black Aronia. And I planted the last one down here. So I'll just do 4 on this property and I'll find a place to put the other 4, but we still gotta open up them boxes over there and see. Here's the location of the 4th one, and I'll go grab some water and I'll show you how to water them in. If I get my thumb out of the way. That one's in a good spot, right next to the peach tree there. And you can see here, just to the right, there's a Has cap behind it. Another Has cap right there. And whatever those flowers are, because I planted bulbs kind of throughout here. That's really cool to see. Let me go grab my waterer here. Like I said earlier, there's no water on this property, so got to bring my own. And the water, the soil is especially wet, so I'm really not too worried. And it's about to rain, but if anybody's still watching this video anyways, might as well show you, at least give you an idea of what it means to like water in a plant. So usually what you're trying to do is, if you get it to rain on it, any separation that there is between the roots, sorry, my water fell over. So just imagine, these are roots for the Creeping Charlie. So just imagine all these roots were just put in, and then soil was kind of thrown right on top of it and around it. What the water does is it pushes out the air any air pockets that might be in there, which there will be plenty. And it just helps the soil itself to mate with the roots, and then they can do what roots and soil do. And so there might be a scientific way or a certain amount of water. I'm going to say 1 chicken service, I don't know. What would you call that? I don't even know how many ounces are on here. But you get the idea. Maybe I'll put in another one, but you just want to get some water in there just to perform that process of getting the dirt in contact with the roots. Like I said, kind of unnecessary at this point because spring, the soil is pretty damp and it's about to rain, so not too worried about it. Take a look at peach getting ready. So I'll do that all the way through, and then we'll go look at what else is in those other boxes. Let's see what's in here. Here we come to the packing list. It's kind of strange. I'm on a tripod and trying to line up your picture with your thing here. I just want to know what I actually ordered. Unless these are, let's see. Alright, so I'm in the truck trying to get warmed up. I was just thinking about I think I've been started recording 5 hours ago, and it's just amazing how much stuff happens in a day, and things that got to be done, and emails returned, and phone calls taken, and all of that. I just opened up another box, and I do have quite a bit of work to do in the next 3 hours. I have a whole bunch of hazelnuts came in. Let's see, 3, 5. Okay, so 5 hazelnuts came in, and then a whole set of semi-dwarf supreme Stark Spur. They're apples. They're specific apples. They at Stark Brothers they have their own name varieties and stuff like that. And this was a collection. My original plan was to have four of those trees here. I'm not sure. I think I have to decide between one of those types because I don't have enough room there. I'll show you. I got my hat on because it's pretty cold out. My ears started to hurt, so I'll take you outside real quick. So, and I was just thinking, since this is going to be a long video anyways, might as well go through all of it. So this area I planted out with probably a dozen or so different berry bushes that I'm trying to see if will all come back, along with there's garlic intermix, there's flower bulbs in there, and this was carryover from an experiment that we had last year. I was trying to see if all of these thistle that came up would provide enough shade to allow these berries to come up, like this one right here, boysenberries. So there's a handful of those in there. There's walking onions there, and there's garlic throat and some strawberries that I showed you earlier. And I was thinking about planting a couple of nut trees, those couple of nut trees here, but I really should just let it sit so I can see what happens over the year, just for my own whatever information. I got a little trash to pick up that blows in. And I was thinking maybe a couple apple trees or maybe a couple of the heart nut trees in here. It's just, I think planting these bushes that I just did is probably pushing the limit to what I can fit. Because like I said, I can't plant anything like here, pretty much all the way to here. So I could plant one tree up there, like right at the end of my finger. I got trees falling down. And they're so filled with different berry bushes that if I put a tree there, I just don't know if that's enough space. I mean, I have so much more room at my house to plant stuff that I might just hold off on adding anything this year, because these peach trees are on their second year here. The elderberries are really going to grow a lot this year. And we'll see how all the flower bulbs and all that stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take everything back and I'll just plant it at my house. And because this is going to be a longer video, I'll just take you along with me and see what I can get done within the next 3 hours, barring any more lengthy interruptions. It should be all right because I got somewhere to be at in the evening. Here's another flower. I'll get distracted again. But yeah, here's a random. I think I probably tried to plant some sort of bush in there too. It didn't make it, or just hasn't sprouted yet, because I don't know what that is. Grass? Maybe grass? Looks like grass. So who knows? That's why I videotape all this stuff so I can go back and look and see. So that'll be enough for this area today. We'll go over to the house and see what we can get planted over there. I got 4 apple trees, 8 heart nuts, and 5 hazelnuts, with another 8 hazelnuts on the way. So here's the big clump of trees. As you can see, they're quite large. Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? I also wanted to add something too I think is important. I was just walking through again trying to figure out a way for me to fit at least a couple of them heart nuts. For one thing, I usually try to plant in 3. So they cross-pollinate, but I'd like to at least have 3 in an area. This area is small enough for that to happen. But I'm limited partially because of this maple. I'm not too worried about the shade it gives, even though it gives an incredible amount. What I'm worried about is the roots. The reason why I barely got that peach tree in there. And I got a couple of berry bushes over there and a couple of small pine trees or cedar trees over there. But it's really difficult. And the size of those roots in those trees, I don't even know if I could get down there into a spot. Because it looks like it's open, right? It looks like it's an open area, but there's a bush here. There's berry bush here. There's like the white pine berries. There's another one there, another one there. I'm not sure what's on this edge, but I don't want to mess with the roots of that too much. And then right past that is bush. So you can see white berries there. So that's what I'm saying. It'd just be easier just to plant it over there. And then this, let's say I got one tree in there, and then I put one tree like in between the elderberries. Just doesn't make sense. And then I can't plant anything here. And then that's 2 foot of wood chips, and then I put another one kind of in between there, and then a third one. It's too dicey, so it'll be food for thought, and I just want to put that on video so you can, if you're ever looking at a space or some of the decisions you might have to make, and some of the rules that at least I try to follow when planting, because all these things are relatively young, and I don't think I have a very good idea of just how big these things are going to get. And I've always, as you can see here, that little green there, I plant stuff so randomly in so much different things that you never know what's going to pop up in the spring. So now I'm going to head home and start planting that other stuff. So I'm back home, and I got all my trees and stuff kind of ready to be moved out. Those are the heart nuts. There's 3 of them, and 3 or 5 more. And then these are all the apple and filbert hazelnuts. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm not going to record everything. I'll record one of these trees going in so you can see the difference between one of these bushes going in. And then you'll see how just about as easy it is for me to plant a full tree. Yeah, make sure when you're taking them out, you kind of tease the roots apart. So this is a hazelnut. So obviously it'll have to get that deep. But I mean, that's quite a ways down to dig. And you'll see just how easy it is because, and I guess I'll show you this real quick before I get to planting. I'm running out of time. So generally the idea is in an area that just has grass, it gets mowed, the sun basically bakes that soil and hardens it. All of the soil life goes down to get away from the sun. If you want to increase the life of your topsoil, you want to cover it. So the method I've used is just allowing grasses to grow and die over a period of a couple years. So you can see there's quite a lot here. And what ends up happening, so all this stuff is dead. I could, it's hay or straw or whatever you want to call it. And then the new grass comes up. And whatever doesn't come up or make it, whatever, is fine. But I've been able to allow maple trees. These are 2 sugar maples. There's a third one. And those have sprouted up on their own. There's a paired peach tree. And I have a whole ring of raspberries here. But anyways, the idea is because the soil has so much cover, all of this, that the dirt, all the life is right there at the level where you would dig. So this is all very moist. I mean, it is March, so obviously it's not going to be sun-baked. However, you can see how nice that dirt looks. I was hoping to just find a worm right off to kind of prove my point here, but as you can see, I'm just using my fingers to dig right in, and it's very easy. So getting a shovel in there and getting it deep enough to plant a tree is not difficult at all. And you just cover it back up. A little bit of excess to cover from the sun, because you want the leaves to get sun. You don't want the roots to get sun, if that kind of helps me make sense of it. And I think I just went out of focus, but yeah, you definitely want the leaves to do photosynthesis, just like this tree. So put on leaves, but you don't want the roots to get. And obviously it's protecting itself, and so I'm going to do that. And what makes it nice over here is I have planted about 40 fruit trees and about 80 to 100 berry bushes, and I have a whole field of sugar maples, so I can basically walk around. Here's a little pathway going up to the chickens. For an example of where I would plant some of this stuff, let's say right here I have sunchokes. There's maple trees springing up here. Here's a walnut. Here are chickens. There's a chicken. There's another mulberry popping up here, whatever. So I was thinking that maybe one of the hazelnuts would tuck in right behind where that hay is. I put a hazelnut right there. Or I could put it right over here. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Is you can see how densely I have things packed. Here's a plum. That's a maple tree. There's, I don't know, an apple tree. There's some berry bushes, whatever else. But I can stick something in the middle. It's not too big of a deal. Hopefully you can see kind of the density of this area as well. So I'll just go around with a couple of trees in my hand and pick spots and put it wherever I feel. So I'll get this on video. This is one of the hazelnuts. And the rule with digging holes is you try to make it 1.5 times bigger than the roots. But you see this one's a little going pretty far out to the side, so I'm gonna have to dig it all the way over. But this is just a series of scoops from my little hand shovel, about 20 seconds. And I always, whenever I think I'm done digging, I just dig it, another handful of times, because you want it to be resting in soil. You don't want it to like impact your compacted soil. So I'm just gonna extend that out a little bit, or whatever direction, put all this soil back, and then I'm just gonna drop all these leaves right back on where it was, to insulate a little bit more, and all these will break down and feed the tree. Made a dent so far. I was just pulling out this on the left is an apple, and then a filbert hazelnut, and then another apple. I was just impressed by the size of it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a Mutsu apple. This is a Lewis filbert. This little guy here is a secret Granny Smith. Now where to place them? Where to place them? All right, I had to take a minute break. I got 8 more heartnut trees left. I think I've just planted like 20 things. I don't know, I lost count. It's pretty cold and windy out. And I'm just about done, and rain is forecasted for today, because I was thinking about how I was going to water all that stuff in with my time constraints and stuff, but I'll just let nature do it, because it's pretty moist back there, and I'm covering it up with old grasses and stuff like that, so it's going pretty well. I'm not used to this kind of work after a winter being inside, doing nothing but keyboards and school and all that, but just about done. 8 more trees. Some of those trees were huge. Like I've had to dig quite a bit more than I thought, but those apple trees were definitely pretty stout. But the hazelnuts went in pretty well. Pretty much like planting a bush, like it is a bush. So other than that, we're gonna do the Yeah, the Japanese walnut or heart nut, and there's 8 of them, so they'll be evenly kind of spaced, and they'll be pretty good. They get bigger than most of the other stuff because they're not semi-dwarf or dwarf or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they grow. I have some concerns over like the border of my property has a lot of trying to get pine trees and spruce trees. I know which direction the sun comes up, so I kind of just move on the opposite side and keep them mostly over there. So, okay, I'm going to get back to it. So here's an important note that, let's say you order trees or bushes from Tai Nursery. You can rest assured that you can you can wait a day or two. It's not as soon as they arrive. You got to put them in because these will stay moist for, I don't know, a year. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. This is all the other companies that I've used, Stark and all this One Green World and etc. They all do a pretty good job, but this is by far the most how do you call it? The most thorough job of keeping roots contained and wet as I've ever seen. So we're gonna make pretty quick work of it. And see, these walnuts, Japanese walnuts, they get about, I want to say 20 feet tall, 25 feet tall, and they're heart-shaped and whatever. They're jugland species, but this is going to be so easy to plant. It's only that far. It's going to be a breeze to get all those in the ground. And just knowing that if I order stuff from Tai, that I can really wait. Even on the Stark and all that, I could wait another day or something like that. But this stuff is amazing. So if you live a busy life and you order some stuff and you're really worried about it, you're probably good. Okay, I'm all done. The last part was pretty easy. Just those apple trees were quite intense. So I think I'll have to add up the numbers, and when I edit the video, I'll try to remember to put in prices for those stuff. But it's good to get out planting today. That was a pretty big order. I have more coming tomorrow. I'm not sure what. So I don't keep all that stuff in my brain. I keep it like electronically written down. But no, I do have another plant order, I think, for more bushes and possibly more goji berries. I'm really pushing to get nut trees this year and goji berries because I'm trying to, and I mean, I have other evergreen trees that I'm buying from the city, but I'm just trying to get it to where I have some evergreen something around my yard, especially in the winter, just to try and block the view, block the wind, that kind of thing. And also the nut trees, I wanted to get those because the heart nuts are apparently super easy to open. They grow really well, they grow really fast, so even next year possibly, depending on how much they grow this year, they might be producing something. Everything from that Tai nursery is generally sold as like ready to fruit. So I don't, they're quite large. So I don't see the walnuts put on any fruit today or this year. Anyways, I'm tired, cold. I'm gonna go meet this river club. It's a local group that takes care of one of the rivers around here. So they go eat dinner. So I gotta get cleaned up and probably maybe wash my hands, maybe put on some different clothes. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you stick through the end. I have no idea right now how long this video is, but if it's 15-20 minutes, it's fine. I'd like to intersperse some of these longer videos with shorter ones, on top of having shorts, and hopefully I get better at my shorts game. I get some like crazy amount of views on some, and then others I don't get any, so whatever the magic is, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Alright, bye-bye.